Hi, my name is Michael Muranaka, and I'm going to show you how to quickly add three different styles of drips to your graffiti hand styles. So in the other tutorial I did, we went through how to use the pen tool and brushes to create graffiti hand style text, and we're going to do three different styles of drips that you could add to it. So this one's kind of an even, kind of a geometric, symmetrical looking drip. This one we're going to draw by hand and give it more of like a dripping paint feel. And this one, we're going to use photos from the internet to to add like a realistic kind of flair to it. So let's get started. So real quickly to create hand styles, I always use a pen tool and the brushes. So to start, you can click P. It's also right here to start the pen tool. And to use the pen tool, you click and you can create straight points, or if you hold and drag around, you'll see this little Bezier path, and you could create your own shapes. So if you do a second click, it'll connect the shape, but you could also click here on the anchor and it'll stop it from curving. So let's go ahead and write something real quick and we'll show you how to make a brush. So let's just do a quick D. Do a quick R. And we'll just do it kind of quick and silly right now. We won't go too crazy with the style of it. So you could write your own letter P, but if you're pressed for time, you could also just copy the D. Oh, the R rather. Yeah, the D. What am I saying? And rotate it. So if you copy the D and rotate it, it'll give it kind of a symmetrical look like that as well. So right now it just has a round path to it. You could see in the stroke window. If you ever need to find the stroke window, you could go to Window and you'll see Stroke. Sometimes they turn off. And this has a rounded cap and a rounded corner. If it didn't, it would look flat like this. But we're not going to worry about that too much right now. We're going to create a new brush real quick to to make it look more like a marker style. So again, in the brush window, if you need it open again, just click Window Brushes. You would go ahead and hit the plus, calligraphic brush, hit OK. And what you immediately want to do is squeeze this in. So if it's a circle, it'll look like the round tipped brush, but if it's flat, then that's more like a marker. And you want to add a little curve to it because if you're writing on a wall or on a piece of paper, you probably would have the flat edge curved like that. And the size, it always defaults at 9, but we can go ahead and shrink that. If you had a tablet, you could mess with these as well, and this will add a little bit more variation to the marker, but it looks better if it's consistent generally. So you can go ahead and hit OK, and you'll see your new brush was created right here. So go ahead and select your text, and then select select your new brush, and then add some more weight to it. So we'll do like a fat tipped marker. And you can see now that with a thicker stroke, it looks really wacky. So we'll go ahead and respace out the letters. So the D, R, I, and the P. And if you want to adjust the points on this, you could use the direct select tool. If you select the letter, you could see the points. You could actually click the points and move them like that too. So now we have the R. Now the R looks a little bit better. Cool. So now that we have that done, let's get into making drips. So what I'm going to do is copy this and paste it. It's Apple or Control C, Apple Control V. But if you needed to, you could hit Edit up in the toolbar, copy, paste. And now we have a copy of this. The reason why it's good to make copies is since you did this with a pen, these are points and lines that you can still edit and move around. But when we add the drips, it's best to select everything and outline it. So you could just right click and hit create outlines. Uh, and it is not going to work for me right now. Of course, while I'm filming, it's not going to work. If you don't see the create outlines button, you could usually right click it. You could select everything, and in under object at the top, you can go to object, expand appearance, and now you'll see that it's no longer a path like this that's editable. Everything's a shape. So let's get into adding the drips. So to add simple, simple kind of even drips like this, what we could do is use the pen tool. So P or pen tool. Um, Under the brushes, the first one is the general normal brush that people use. So you'll just see it's a regular outline. So we'll go ahead and delete that. You By default, the caps and corners are on the first two options, but for the drips, we'll keep everything rounded just in case. And all you need to do is click one point, and if you hold the shift button, it'll automatically be straight if you'd like it to be straight, or you could move it around however you like. Let's give it a tiny little curve like that. So now you see this, we have this line, but it doesn't look fantastic. So we'll up the stroke weight. And I'm happy with that. I'm going to make it a little bit thinner. And then from here, we can copy and paste these. So you could Apple or Control C, Control V, or an easier way is if you hold the Option or Alt key, you can click and drag these. So when you're doing drips, it's kind of fun to make it go over like holes of letters and things like that, make them longer. You'll probably want to adjust the size so they're not all the same as well. And you could again just click this direct select arrow, click the point and drag it however you want. Another thing that you could do is if you want it to look real drippy, you could just click another little drop like that so it looks like a droplet. You could select and copy these, or you could just draw your own. Whatever floats your boat. So let's go ahead and finish this up. And generally, whatever the last brush is, it will replicate, but I accidentally clicked the letter. So now it's copying this style. So if you select this path here, you can hit the eyedropper tool. It's the letter I, but it's this icon right here. And you can click this other path and it'll turn back, it'll give it the same properties as this path here. So a lot of fun to play with, a lot of possibilities for this. Let's get into the next type. So again, we'll go ahead and select these, copy and paste it over here, and go to Object, Expand Appearance. Expanding the appearance is optional. If you want to keep it an outline, that's totally up to you. There's not really a totally important reason to do that. So now this second style, we're just going to use the pen tool. So with the pen tool selected, what you could do is when you click, this is starting a new shape. You could click and hold, and make your own paint drip. And when you're done creating a shape, move it to where you like it. Rather than creating a ton of different drips, you can copy and paste some as well, and move it over and just like shift it to the other side or make it smaller to give it variation. I'll go ahead and draw another one just so you can see. So we'll do a double drip here. So again, I started the path. I'm going to click and hold until you get the angle that you want. So I'm good here. So what you could do to close off the shape is just click the last anchor, and now it's a solid shape. You want to move it with the regular select arrow. So that's the letter V or this arrow right here. And then just put it over the letters wherever you like. So here it looks kind of cool, like to drag it across here, like it's a bigger drip. We'll just add one more. Cool. So that's style number 2. So the last style you need to get into your browser with. So again, we'll make one more copy, paste it here, expand the appearance, and then one kind of good rule is to just save as often as possible. So whenever you're in the middle of something, just go ahead and click save. There is an autosave feature in Adobe Illustrator, but just to be safe, save as much as possible. The command for that's Control S or Command S. It's good to just get it in your brain to do that. So go to Google and search for paint drips. And we'll just search for paint drips vector here, because sometimes it'll give you, actually, I don't like those at all. We could use this one. So you'll see images here, but a better way to do it is to go to Images, Tools, Size, and Large. With a large size image, you'll get better detail for what we're about to do. So I'm looking at these. I'm not too in love with any of them. Let's try something like this. So this we can get a lot of use out of because it has drips right here, but it also has these edges which look good on corners of letters and things like that. So you can get it from Adobe stock if you want to pay for it and support Adobe, or you can right click and go to copy image, go back into Illustrator, and let's zoom out a little bit and go ahead and paste this image. And we're going to use the image trace tool for this. So to use image trace, it's real simple. With any raster non-vector image, you just have it and you click image trace. We won't get too into image trace today, but if you have any questions about it or want to learn more, we could do another video. And then go ahead and hit expand. Expand makes it usable. So this part is kind of tricky. It's not that tricky since we don't have too much stuff on the screen. But if you select, if you have the direct select arrow and you select this white box, we're going to need to get rid of all the extra, anything that's not black, basically. So we'll go ahead and go to Object, or sorry, Select at the top, and you go to Select, Same, and then Fill Color. Now you'll see all these details in here that are white will get selected as well, and just delete them. And we'll get rid of this too. And then use the regular arrow, click V or this arrow here. And now you'll see that it's one shape, and we could start using this to manipulate it to work with our image. So let me zoom in. And you can see it kind of looks cool already. Sometimes it looks cool to just be very minimal and add like a few drips here and there. So if you start off here, it looks like there's a cool kind of paint spray. We'll make a bigger one here for the D. And we'll do one more on the R. So I don't really, well, actually that looks good. And why not do one more? And we'll make this one a little bit bigger. So if you want to add variation, you could grab the side here and then flip it. That makes it look not so monotonous and repetitive. And I actually kind of like that there. Go ahead and add something here too to kind of, yep, cool. So that is pretty much it. How to add drips to your hand styles in Illustrator. Be sure to, if you comment, or if there's any questions you guys have, if you want to comment. If you want to ask me anything, all my information should be below. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next video. If you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to reach out.